You gonna play that dastardly intro again?
Ow! This movie's still fine. Guys, that guy's Squirrel. One of them's a hottie. His name is Jay. One of them looks like Johnny Depp, and his name is Johnny Depp.
Classic Maximum Joseph.
Bloody hot shit, eh?
You forget that films are supposed to have a point.
Interrupted myself. Hello, New York City! Yes. It's fantastic to be here. Welcome to the worst idea of all time, second to last ever episode of all time. My name is Tim Bat.
And my name is Guy Montgomery. And please welcome our special guest all the way from Ireland, Maeve Higgins.
Thank you.
I lied about where you're from, kind of.
Yeah, I'm Texan.
Yeah. But what an Irish lilt you put on.
Yeah, do you want me to stay in my Irish character for the whole show?
No, I'd actually prefer if you reverted back to your original Texan accent.
If it would help, Guy and I also have tremendous southern accents, which
Okay.
could guide you on your way.
I do appreciate it.
There you're so welcome, little lady.
It's
Wait, hold on.
No, I'm
I
still
feel like you're
from-
not committing.
Yeah, I'm doing my New Zealand character. It's my best character.
Oh, I see.
Now, before we kick off, I would like to ask, just this is as a gauge, because we are going to do this show once again in, filthy Los Angeles. How do you guys enjoy the last 20 minutes of playlisting before...
Did it feel like a punishment?
Well, I think because now you know a little bit.
Guy thought it would be a funny gag, everyone listening at home, to play Justice's titular track, We Are Your Friends, for 20 minutes to really prep the audience for this live show.
Well, but initially you were going
Chuck
to play...
that mic in there, Maeve. Really eat that shit. That's how I have to adapt to him, so we all do.
Okay, so
You see?
initially you were going to play it for like the entire hour since doors
That's
Doors
true.
open at 7, the show was at 8, and they were laughing backstage, imagining all of you suffering. And then they had that New Zealand conscience, and they were like, let's just leave it for 20. That's the last time I'll do your accent, I'm sorry.
That is 3 perfect accents from you, mate.
This is all going to be on my voice reel.
Yeah, it's what better place for a voice reel than a live podcast?
I'm sorry.
Hey, Maeve Higgins, noted and beloved Irish comedian. I have spent so much fucking time with Guy Montgomery in the last fortnight that I almost exclusively want to talk to you. Pick your brains, find out what's going on with your day, how you're feeling, what your thoughts are about certain issues. But predominantly, you've just watched We Are Your Friends for the first time.
Yeah.
What
I never even heard of it before.
did you think of the film?
I found it moving, actually.
That's
I did.
good. Because I did write down in my notebook, have you ever not enjoyed a movie?
I got really frightened watching Silence of the Lambs. But that was still kind of enjoyable.
enjoy it.
Yeah, that's the intent of the movie.
Right, yes. Yeah. Yeah, no, I get movies. I'm like a storyteller. So...
I laughed a little too rapturously at the notion that you are, in fact, a
Yeah,
storyteller.
like I actually am.
Yeah, I know you are. But you found it moving.
Yeah, I did, because I don't want to spoil it, but when Squirrel dies... I'm sorry. I mean, when one of the characters had...
I think the damage has been done.
Maeve was genuinely shocked. She's not lying about being moved. That tore you up,
I
huh?
just thought that they would revive him.
Yeah.
And
And then we're at the funeral
Yeah,
all of a sudden, and
that's-
it's
Yeah.
like, it didn't happen.
and I thought there would be an autopsy. Remember I said, will there even be an autopsy?
You did, which I actually tried to convince you there was one, but I think you saw through it.
Yeah.
Smart.
Because it cut to the funeral almost immediately.
Yeah.
So
When
I
is an
found,
autopsy traditionally performed? It's pretty quick, huh?
I think, I mean, the friends wouldn't do it, obviously. It would be, his body would be transported to a autopsy
morgue.
factory. Right, a morgue.
Do you know, ironically, I think the one who would be best suited is Squirrel, because he's the smartest, but...
That's true. You didn't have this context, Maeve, because we sheltered it from you. But in a behind-the-scenes interview, Zac Efron reels that Squirrel's character went to university. And through another piece of research, we discovered he studied math, I think.
Wow. But Zac Efron's character when he's in the car with the model says, "School's stupid," or something like. He's like, "School doesn't matter," or something like that. Like,
very cool.
yeah.
He says school's a waste of time.
Yeah, school's a waste of time.
To which Emily Ratajkowski replies, "Only if you're doing something better with
It can't. No,
Or
actually,
it can't-
the exact line
Oh God. It's happened so early.
is it can be
I mean, you would think I would have it by now.
if you're doing something better with your time.
59 watches.
We're not in there anymore, man. We're out.
I know, but still. It's... Oh.
So, aside from the fact that they kill off Squirrel to try and achieve some form of emotional resonance in this wasteland, what else did you specifically find moving?
Oh, I suppose just like friendship and young guys together. Just like reminded me of my own life back in rural Ireland.
What part about their lifestyle reminded you of your own life back in rural Ireland?
Just like,
I'll take it from here. Thanks, Maeve. So
I
in
literally asked Maeve the question, Tim.
I heard you. I'm not deaf. Maeve's from a part of Ireland where they eat a lot of sushi and play EDM non-stop. Am I right? Am I right or am I right?
yeah, no, I think it was just like the bleakness and the alcohol. But the sushi, the constant references to sushi were so confusing to me. I was like, who is behind this film? Like,
What?
Big Fish?
I wouldn't expect you to
A gag.
understand this, Maeve.
Yeah.
No, hold on.
In storytelling, we deploy a technique called motif.
Oh.
It's just something that we refer to,
Yeah.
constantly throughout the movie. And in this movie, one of the motifs is sushi.
Oh, so it makes you feel like rooted in their experience or something?
Just a thread to follow, I guess.
It's just that
What else are you going to do for an hour and a
you've
half?
got to put up some scaffolding around which to construct a story.
The other recurrent, beautiful part was whenever a woman walked by, they would all swing their heads like Labradors, like, oh.
It's like your upbringing in rural Ireland.
Exactly. Beautiful.
I didn't mean to subvert the medium of podcasts because predominantly it's audio, but you are rocking such a strong aesthetic this evening, Guy, that I kind of want to get to the bottom of what it's all about. And to fill everyone in, close your eyes, please, and come with me on a short journey. We have...
So the people in the room, obviously, you don't need to close your eyes. It would probably be most effective if actually you kept your eyes exactly open.
a tie that I can describe as being at the perfect length because it just touches the top of your belt when you're standing up.
It's actually, no, it's a little too short when I stand up.
Oh, it is too. Look at that.
There's a three-finger gap between
But-
the end of the tie and the belt.
When sitting, pretty good. And he knew he was going to be sitting, so nailed it.
Thank you.
Are you slumping on purpose?
I would like to think my posture's pretty sound right now.
Oh, never mind.
A donned on said shirt, every NBA franchise appears to be represented. There's a logo. I mean, there's all the logos of all the teams. We've got that famous hat, which is from, what is the material called?
Towel.
A turquoisey colour. And then a long sleeve business shirt, which is a sort of an aquamarine. And then, of course, the jeans.
Of course, the jeans.
A light blue.
Stonewash?
I bought these. Yeah, I don't know. But I don't know what the guy said, but it works.
Maeve, what does this man do for a living?
I guess like an accountant.
Pretty zany accountant.
Yeah, like I mean, actually, you do remind me of my uncle, who is an accountant, but an accountant in a donkey sanctuary in Ireland.
Sorry, one more time.
In a what sanctuary?
Donkey sanctuary. You can actually Google it as like Ireland's only donkey sanctuary, and he's the accountant there. And he dresses like in all monochrome colors and cool ties, and he has a moustache. Like you're so like him.
Sick.
Give it up for Maeve's uncle, everyone. He was good enough to come out and join us from the northern... Are we in the northern hemisphere right now?
Are we?
Are we? Yeah.
Yeah, we're in New York.
Oh, hey, how you doing? Okay, so that's my knowledge of geography. There's so many more people in this room than I was expecting, I'll tell you that.
But can I just to keep you on your same train of thought? The way that you wanted to talk about the outfit was for you to just list the outfit.
Oh, we're done there. We're off. At stations, we've whizzed past it. We stopped, we let some people on, we let some people off, and we're on again.
So you just describe what I'm wearing and then move on.
Yeah.
It's a fun game.
Is that okay with you?
That's good. Yeah. No, we should have done it every episode. It's a good segment.
Oh, speaking of segments...
Why don't you describe what he's wearing?
Yeah.
But make it up for the audience at home.
Oh, that's good. I want, Tim is wearing...
a mermaid tail. They don't know. They can't see him.
Yeah, but they can hear. You got to do that off mic.
Oh.
And he's also wearing a white t-shirt and, if you can imagine this, a denim jacket. I fucked it.
You really did. You took the offer and took a dump on it, my dude. Terrible stuff. Hey, Maeve, it's time for the first segment. You ready?
Yep.
All aboard. Whoop, whoop. Shine in Lightville. Population, 3 of us.
Oh, cool. Okay.
We're going to get out and do some sightseeing of the film that we just watched. Some of us have seen it once. Some of us have seen it 59 times, which seems crazy to say out loud all of a sudden. But some of us have seen it 59 times. And are you comfortable with kicking off, or do you want me to burn some?
No, I'm so ready.
Maeve Higgins, what was your favourite bit of this movie, We Are Your Friends?
There was a very small scene where they were eating cake, and it wasn't clear whose birthday it was.
It was pretty clear.
Was it?
Yeah, it's kind of expressly spelled out.
I know that it was the guy who got the cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just for future reference, it's usually a pretty good guy.
Okay, but actually, you're wrong, because usually what happens is somebody brings a cake he just opened the fridge and took out a cake, which isn't how normal birthday cake is presented to you. Someone brings it over to you and there's a big ceremony.
Do you know, that is so true.
Yeah.
But this cake is, of course, consumed in the middle of a lover's tiff.
Right.
And so all the rules fly out the window.
Yeah, so true. So unconventionally, I guess, he just went to the fridge and got his own birthday cake.
Yeah.
And he's the elderly DJ. What was his name?
James
Sorry, did
Reid.
you just describe him as an elderly DJ? Fabulous. Yep, you got it.
So James Reid, and he got his own birthday cake, and then he just broke off pieces of it. He was fighting with his girlfriend. They didn't use a plate. He just got handfuls of this lovely cake and passed it on to Zac Efron, who wasn't wasted at all, who should have really been like, can I get a plate? Is there a fork? But instead, he just went along with it because I guess it's his mentor. So he was like, I'll just take a handful of cake. And I thought that scene was really telling.
What did it tell you?
Just very telling.
Okay, gotcha.
But telling how?
I mean, telling in that he totally went off of all convention because the older guy did the same. And he also wanted to... Had he been with the girl at that point?
Yeah, they dry humped.
They dry humped. Okay. So he had already kissed...
No, I'll take the bait. So we had the conversation again, everybody. And I asked Maeve, I said, Maeve, based on what you've seen here this evening, do you think that Zac Efron and Emily Ratajkowski's characters fucked in this movie? And she said, I don't know.
It wasn't clear to me.
Wasn't clear to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're being obstinate.
No, I didn't even
Which
know.
I appreciate from a comedy point of view, but also because it's 2 against 1 and I am the one,
No, but
I don't enjoy it.
I don't... If you watch... Maybe you should watch the film again. Because...
Finish your thought.
Because it didn't show anything. It was just them
What
kind
the-
of
do
rolling
you-
around and
Unless
then...
you are watching a porno, you two, I'm looking at both of you.
Uh-huh.
Do you not believe any characters have sex in film?
Sometimes they make it super clear,
Yeah.
but in this one, I mean, the line
Give me
is...
a movie.
Like their faces are like, oh, or whatever. Like,
Yeah. in the Titanic, and you're like, when they've done it because their faces change.
and her hands.
There's no face.
Yeah.
You don't see any faces.
I can picture their faces, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it shows that.
There's
but
a
basically,
steamy hand. You two are full of
the hands. But in the film that we just saw, whatever it's called, it's like not clear. They're just kind of rolling around, and then in the morning they're hungry. But every morning you're hungry.
Those aren't even the clues. This is a red herring. They're both naked, demonstrably so.
No, you
No.
don't see. No, you don't see anything. You see his back.
I
see nothing of
I am
her.
honestly fucking livid. This is.
Do you know,
It just feels
no.
disrespectful at this
Do you
point.
know, the thing is, Tim, is you get what you deserve, because every time we've had a guest in this podcast, not just movie, every time the scene comes up, you will gleefully turn to them with a
not like-
wicked glint in your eye and say,
is.
so what do you reckon? Do you think they had sex? And everyone, because they're all boys and horny fucks, they say, yeah, I reckon they did it. And now we turn to, Maeve Higgins of Ireland, a bastion of, and the South, a bastion of hope and honesty, and she did not
thank you.
agree with your,
Right.
heavy-handed opinion,
Right.
and suddenly,
He's angry. He's
Yeah.
a real 2017 man. He's mad. Oh, a woman is saying it's one thing.
2017, man.
yeah, to believe woman. Maeve specifically said they didn't do it.
Hey, well, you know what, guys? You really painted me into a corner here, so maybe they didn't have sex. Well done to both of you.
That feels so good, Maeve.
Yeah. Oh, so right. But
So,
there's also
yes.
sorry.
No.
There's a confrontation in the bathroom, which is like a very clean bathroom for like a dirty club.
Yes.
And then they say the James, is that his name? The older
James
guy?
Reid from
yeah.
The Feelers.
He
The
says
elderly
to Zac
DJ.
Efron, he's like, did you fuck her? Like, and like, if it is the way you want it to be, he'd be like, yes, I did. Like, I really enjoyed it or whatever. But instead, he just like makes a little face, which is like, oh, you're being coy because you didn't.
That's right, yeah. That look he does, that's not
Yeah.
like, yeah, of course we had sex. It's like, I wish I could tell you I did.
Yeah.
This is a unique feature of an argument where the minority says, you know what, you guys are right. And then the majority says, and fucking another thing. While I'm here, that boot on your throat, here's
what?
another fucking foot.
Sorry.
Hey, Maeve.
I just want to put your
Respect
mind
it.
at ease.
All right.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you for pointing out the clues in the film. I've seen 59 times.
I feel like you're pretty irate to maybe you'd like to share your shining light.
Dude, I feel great. I've just come to the stark realization after 59 watches that there is ambiguity as to whether or not copulation has occurred between our protagonist and love interest of the film. I feel enlightened. And you want me to do my shining light? Because I'll do it. You just watch me.
I am watching you.
My favourite bit of the film in this 59th watch is a smile delivered by Jarhead when they're in the, I was going to say cafeteria. That doesn't sound right. Where are they? It's a diner, right? That
Where
they're in?
are they?
Oh, yeah.
Where are they?
Yeah. At the start of the film, you guys have seen the movie, right? So, that felt like pandering. Yuck. I take it back. So, at the start of the movie, we were first introduced to Paige Harrell. The boys are having a bit of
Brunch?
dinner. Well, yeah, it is labelled as brunch, but it is.
It's like nighttime.
obvious.
Yeah,
in the,
demonstrably not
Yeah.
brunch.
So the line of dialogue from Jarhead is, "So what? Can you get us a house?" And then he does this little smile, and it really lit me up this week. I loved it.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
'Cause-
And I also think that they actually cut. So the shot is like I think we're all on Zacole at that point, and he's just to the side of the screen, but you see that smile. And, oh, there we go. And it's just gorgeous.
That's so good, man.
Do you want to know what word I'd use to describe it?
Gorgeous.
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 You just said it.
Yeah.
I'm smart.
What was your shining light, guy?
Mine
That's
was
the 59th and second to last watch.
Yeah, it feels good, huh?
I tried to put reverb in my voice, but I realized you can't do that when you're just talking. That's
love
not
your
how sound works.
Love your ambition. I would like to say, first of all, that it's crazy that we've watched this movie 59 times. And because I remember last time we were at the Bell House was before we did Sex and the City 2. And I remember we watched the movie before we did the show. I was like, it's wild to me that how excited I am to do this fantastic live show in New York City can be undermined entirely by having to watch this. You know, like it's this crazy.
Sure.
The balance of it's just like everything in my year has been moving towards this
Sorry, did
moment.
someone from the audience just say it's incredible? Because you're not wrong.
But this time, I don't know if it was Maeve, your fresh eyes, and the way you emoted with the characters, but I was having a lot of fun back there, having a lot of laughs.
I know we're not sitting right next to each other, dude, but I'm still a person.
Yeah, you know, you're cool.
I was part of the watch.
Yeah, we're cool. And but the shining light was a moment I'd never heard before. Actually, it's when Jarhead. So at the end of the first club scene, after they've got 561 heads into the club, he's Jarhead and the door lady. He's trying to seduce her. And
I'm so sorry. I think it's 563, and I know that'll just tick me off.
Yeah,
I thought it was 62. I actually.
3 is the last number. I don't know what the 60 is.
we got 560 heads. We got 562.
Maybe you're right.
It's
yeah.
got to be 2.
Shit. Oh, we got some fans in the front
Who
row.
knows?
God damn.
It 562. Yeah.
But so
I'm glad we went on
that's
this
all
detour.
by the by. I
for
like
sure.
to think that Jarhead is riding high on the confidence of getting 562 heads into this club, which is incredible, by the way, because their entire marketing approach is flowering a university.
It's a one-to-one approach.
There's so many fucking people. And
For a film that prides itself on speaking to the millennial generation, there is very little interaction with the online world to promote a gig. Their sole job is promoting electronic dance music, which, gun to my head, I would say is pretty heavily associated by internet users. You know?
and that might be a better movie. It's just an hour and a half of them boosting posts on Facebook. So, hey man, is this wording right? Yeah, it's pretty good.
How are my tags?
I fucking boosted a post for this exact event on our Facebook page. I have never died on my ass like I did on that post.
Oh, guy.
So I put $50 American behind it 5 days ago. Our page has like several, over 10,000 likes. 7
all right,
people
mate.
liked it. It's fucking crazy. Oh, thanks, man. I was wearing that.
That's the thing, though, it's. I think on social media now, you see that word like sponsored or boosted or anything, you're like, not on your life will I interact with this. I won't look at it for a microsecond longer than I
Do you know what
have.
it was? I started the post with "Whoa, mama."
Guy, that stinks.
Well, I use that sometimes on my own page, and it goes off. But
Sometimes it's like when you're sometimes like advertising on Instagram gets me so irritated that I interact with it.
that's great.
Is that what you were trying to do?
I was trying to antagonize our potential fans. I don't think that's what I was exactly trying to do.
Yeah.
Maeve, do you remember the last Instagram boosted post that you... Are you okay?
Yeah.
You feel...
Oh, why am I don't look okay?
I don't know. I'm just checking. We cool?
Yeah.
Great.
Good. I mean, now I'm kind of rattled.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, no, I'm having it. It's good.
What was the last Instagram sponsored post that you remember bloody?
Oh, it was like
having a muck
earlier
around
today.
What were you doing? Who was it?
There was a J. Crew. They're really pushing they have a lot of wintry things now because it's like the season, and it's like a blonde model with a wife or with a husband and baby, and there's somehow for some reason the husband shows her a goat, like a goat, and I was just like, that's so not relevant to my life. Like I just hate it. And so, I just said, like, is she going to skin that goat? Like, I was like, got kind of violent.
Had it been a donkey, what would you have written?
Do you know my uncle? If that donkey ever runs into trouble, I know a safe space for it.
Was the poster video or a still?
It was like a series of stills. I mean, I went through them all.
Fuck?
Yeah, I
so it's
went
like
through
a
them all.
comic strip of a guy showing his wife
Yeah.
a goat.
She was like looking, they were standing on a cliff. She's like looking out into the distance, and then her husband comes over, and then with their child, and then she's so dead, like she's so dead-eyed. And then even the goat didn't like bring her to life. Like she was just like
I've seen this
staring
one
at
too.
it absently, and then
The tagline, clothes, we all need them.
So I hate it, and that's like forced into my feed, I guess, by whatever algorithm, because I'm cold.
Man, I've been getting so many muscly guys in my feed lately. They're all like, you want to work out like me? And I'm like, no, I have never. But I guess I do. Like, I trust the algorithm they're using more than my own instincts now.
We're
They
truly
have more
through the looking
information.
glass, aren't we? Hey, Facebook, how do I need to improve my life? Well, you need to buy all these things, guy.
Yeah.
But in
Some of them are vitamins, some of them aren't, but we pretend they are. Fake vitamins.
fake fighter. But like in the movie that we saw, We Are Your Friend.
Sure.
Friends.
Plural.
Like they must have struggled so much to show things that were not like, visible, like visual. Do you know what I mean? Like music, for example. So
They
like,
must
then-
have struggled to get music in the movie.
No, to like show it in a like
And, in
in
the
a
way,
visual way, like in a movie way. Like I kept picturing the screenwriter would have been terrifying for them. So like if they were also just doing, so that's why they had to do the flyer scene.
so that they can communicate.
Yeah, they can like show the guys running around.
You
'Cause,
guys
like,
know the flyer scene, right? It's at the start of the movie where our
Yeah.
champions are running up to a college and they have to distribute flyers for the great gig. It's social.
worth it.
It's
Yeah.
a good scene.
Yeah,
That
great.
scene or me
Yeah.
explaining that?
No, but you know what I mean, right? Like it's so many things about the movie. There's like ideas in the movie, and they really struggle to express them.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And they spend too much time on all of them.
Yeah,
Which is crazy because
they
the
should have really
movies-
made a different movie.
The one where they do all the boosted posts.
What?
Because, I mean, I don't want to get angry, but you motherfuckers are railroading my shining light right now. So,
Oh, I forgot that that's what we were doing.
yeah, it's,
Hey, guy. Fuck you.
that's
It's
okay.
a shining light.
So after, whatever methods they've used, they've successfully got 562 heads into the club. Jarhead is trying to seduce the door lady, who I don't think is given a name. And he goes over and says, hey, whatever. And then she says, I will go home with you tonight on 2 conditions.
He says, I've seen a lot. Oh, no, that's the first interaction, isn't it? I've seen a
I'm
lot
all
of
over
door
this.
Okay. But he does say something.
I've seen many door... Oh, yeah, he does. There's been another
I've seen
shining
many
light.
door ladies in
I've
my
seen many
life.
door girls in my life, but
Yeah.
none of them, and we never get to hear what the second half of that, prepared pickup line is because she cuts him off. But I'd love to know what the second half of the pickup line. I've seen many door girls in my time, but none of them... What could you possibly say?
None of them have entertained me this long. Like she's given him like 3 seconds of her time, and he seems like taken aback and like stunned by that.
He is. It's true, yeah. Applaud. Sure. And she cuts him off and she says, I will go home with you tonight on 2 conditions. One, you, this is pretty sexy. I will never
If you
admit
tell
to it.
anyone about this, I will never admit to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And 2, you shut your fucking mouth for the rest of the night. And
Yeah.
for 58 screenings, I've always thought that is where that performer's performance ends. But this evening, I discovered she either improvised, snuck in, or delivered perfectly. Okay?
Oh.
And that was my shining light. Thank you.
This train conductor's getting old and tired.
Hey, it's good stuff,
Oh, did you
it's
like
on
it
you.
because she was like luring him into responding?
Uh,
She was like, okay, question mark. And if he just said like, okay, she'd be like, you spoke.
do you know? Fuck.
I'm not gonna fuck you. You said okay.
I wish I was engaging with the movie in that naive first screening sort of way. But no, I enjoyed it because I had never heard her say that before. They both work. But yeah, that's what I enjoyed. Also, I feel like I made this. I don't know why. I want to show it to everyone. I went to a dollar store. That's the whole segment.
Guy
They didn't see it.
Guy's made some arts and crafts. So on a sheet of paper, he's glued together some letters. Those letters were
Are your friends?
W-A-Y-F, we are your friends. And they're in glitter letters, but the W's fallen off.
When did you start doing prop comedy, guys?
Literally this exact moment.
Right.
It's easier. Otherwise, you got to think of stuff.
Right.
That's why you just do whatever.
There's something very capturing about the sign, though. No one else can see it but me. I feel like it deserves attention, and no one else can give it attention except for I can.
Like, it's not that capturing, Tim.
I'm in there.
I feel it pertinent to bring up the reason why this might be so capturing for you right now.
Yeah, rock and roll.
Tim had a lovely little mushroom before we came out. I mean, because
Sure.
I'm looking at the same 99-cent Diamante letters taped onto a piece of card and thinking, this is one of the least capturing things I've ever seen.
That's where you're wrong, friend. That thing deserves our attention, and I'll tell you what else it deserves. Bit of respect.
Hard to argue with you.
Isn't it, though?
It is very glittery.
Thank you, Maeve.
I mean, look, I just, podcast, this is good for us, but of course, predominantly in, audio
Right.
practice.
Maeve, can I ask you a question?
Yep.
Do you think this podcast was a good idea? Not this episode, but the whole shebang.
Like I heard him saying you also watched Sex and the City 2 for...
A year.
Right.
We did Grown Ups 2 as well for a year.
I mean, do you know what my podcast is about?
No. Can I be honest with you? I don't.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to give you a heads up.
Okay, great.
It's like about immigration in a time of Trump.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I did know that.
You did?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
I think
your
Guy might
friend
have told
here
me
is
about
a
it.
recent immigrant.
Yes.
Guy.
Yeah.
Remember you just moved here.
Yeah, I do. I remember that vividly. I remember when I met you, the first thing you said to me was, "Oh, it's a shame I just finished my podcast."
Because, yeah. So, I mean, I like to listen to, like, podcasts. I don't want to say, like, that don't matter. But, like...
It's fine. I'll take that on the chin.
It's like a nice break for people, right? Like, it's like a restful, like...
It's a respite.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard for you guys and you're losing your minds, it feels like. But for the rest of us to listen, it's like a silly escape.
Okay, great. Lovely. All
So
right.
the answer is
I don't think you should do it again.
no. There's no risk of that. Did you know?
There is. There is.
Oh,
Grown Ups 3.
there is one.
Wait, you're going to do it again?
No.
There's one shark in the water that we cannot kill on our own.
There used to be two, Maeve. We've committed on the record to, if ever they created a third Sex and the City movie,
Oh my God!
we would do another season watching that. But Sarah Jessica Parker quite recently came out and said, not happening. Tried to make it happen, couldn't make it happen. And another one that we're committed was if Adam Sandler makes another Grown Ups movie, Grown Ups 3, we have to watch that for not 1, but 2 years. Yeah. But I don't know, I feel like it would have happened by now if it was going to.
But that would get us to the end of the Trump 8 years in office.
8? 4, surely. Really? Wrong podcast. Wrong podcast.
We're not in Maeve
Wrong
in America
podcast.
now,
Yeah,
Maeve.
no, listen.
We gotta
Hey,
talk-
hey. Whoop, whoop. We're in another bloody segment. Look at that. Crazy. Let me put my train conductor hat on. You didn't recognize me. I'm the train conductor. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Getting sentimental with James Reed. What do you think about
So
singing?
much bass
Yeah.
from such beta guys.
Yeah, well, I know we are better guys.
Right.
But I understand what you're saying was an insult.
No, it wasn't.
Not in this
the
climate.
best- That's like the best. Anyway, okay.
So as we told you, and as you saw during the movie, James Reed from The Feelers, the old DJ, as you have categorised him, gives a gift unto his mentee, Zacole, the crying DJ. And he prefaces it by saying, "I may have gotten a little sentimental," and then he
Hold on
hands
for a
it.
second. Mentee a word? They're genuinely outraged. I paused you. I'm so sorry. I'm not used to an audience. Unpause.
So if anyone was open to mentee being a word right now, I thought it would be you.
You and me both, man.
You are right to question it. It does not make any sense phonetically and spelling. What is it? Mentee. It's a fucking mess.
Yeah.
Mentee. Wait, it's phonetic, no?
Mentee.
There's not
There's
an
an
accent
accent
on
on it.
mentee. No, there's
Yeah, this guy's commenting on Facebook posts. He's spelling out words. As what?
Guy,
Stay focused.
I'm really sorry for what I did.
No. You're cool, dude. But so he gives him he says, I may have gotten a little sentimental, and he gives him a gift, which is contained within the confines of a MacBook Pro box. We never see him open the gift, so it is up to us to figure out exactly what is contained therein. Maeve is our guest. I feel like you get first pass at this.
Can I just ask another? Do you remember when he mentioned his mother? Like he goes,
Yes.
like he was playing the piano or something like that, and then what happened again? Like
He says,
he said, like
he's playing the piano, and James Reed says, that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
did your mom play the piano or something?
No,
like
he
that,
doesn't
like-
prompt him quite so heavily. He says, that's pretty good. And he goes, yeah, my mum taught piano.
Yeah.
And then he goes, does she still teach? And he goes,
I don't know.
maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. So that was never resolved. So I thought maybe something in the box was like something to do with like the mother.
Holy fuck.
Right.
What kind of thing?
I don't know if I'm primed for this one.
Oh, like, I don't know, just like her ID or something. Or like, here she is. Or like, what? To reunite them, not like her ashes,
Oh.
not like her ashes or anything, but just
still.
like, you know.
So she's, okay, yeah.
But
Look,
Maeve, but still.
no, but so you're saying,
or like maybe some sheet music, like your mom sent me this from prison or
That
something.
sounds like a gag. Hey, your mom sent me this from prison.
Yeah, because she's in like a women's prison.
Oh, so she's still alive, but she's been incarcerated.
Yeah.
I dig that.
but
What do you think
why
she
is
did
it,
to get her on the inside?
I think she did a murder-suicide. Or no. Like a murder. Just a murder.
that doesn't quite work if she is alive and incarcerated.
This,
I feel
listen,
like-
so hold on for a second. This podcast is nothing if not a brainstorm, and there are no bad ideas in the brainstorm.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not
guys.
calling it a bad idea. I'm calling it legally unsound. A murder-suicide.
Zacole's mother has performed a murder-suicide, come back as a ghost,
Yeah.
has been tried for the crimes she committed
Yeah.
in ethereal form,
Yeah.
and sent to prison all the same.
Yeah, she's in
It's like the-
ghost jail.
Schlubbing it with the corporeal forms.
Exactly.
She's got her own cell, or does she have a cellmate?
She's haunting a cell
Gotcha. Perfect.
with a real girl.
Well, tell me about the real woman, girl.
Oh, she's I want to say like what crime did she do? Just like tax evasion.
Love
She's
that.
like a nice lady. She just like got mixed up with the wrong crowd, like a bad accountant.
Your bog
Yeah.
standard
You know.
garden variety tax evasion.
And so she's there, and she's always saying to the guards, "It's so cold in here," because Zac Efron's mother is whew, all around.
Can she see her?
No, she can just feel her presence.
Maeve.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No,
You go.
this is all sound and good.
Yeah, I'd say this will make it into the show, right?
Oh, I can't help but feel like you're moving us on, and I've got so many more questions about this situation.
Yeah, my main question would be,
Yeah,
why is she haunting this tax evading woman?
right.
And
Oh, I know, because she's like, she's a Catholic, and that's like really bad to kill yourself if you're a Catholic. So she's actually, her guilt has traveled into the afterlife, and she's put herself in prison. Yeah.
She is voluntarily incarcerated.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Hey, we can clap all we want. There's still more questions.
I think that wraps it up.
And so she has
Okay,
somehow...
Yeah, I got
Well,
my
no-
Catholics in. Where are my Catholics?
No St. Peter fans in the room tonight. Okay. Very good.
not quite as many as Maeve really teed up for. So in between sort of grappling with her own guilt and haunting this
Yeah.
maybe Presbyterian or some other religion tax evader,
She's Buddhist, actually.
Yeah, guy.
doesn't seem very in keeping with Buddhism to evade tax.
No, she's newly... You know how you go into prison, you convert to Buddhism? You, like, find Buddha.
Yeah, it's what all the killers say. They say, I found Buddha.
Yeah.
And so in between all this, she finds the time to write some sheet music, you suggest?
Yeah, because what's spookier, you know? Like, do you think that a ghost would just write in words in English? I doubt it, guy.
No.
I think that they'd be like, blink, blink, blink. Blink, blink, blink.
But she somehow found a way to physically, transcribe, address, and mail
Yeah.
this to a man whom she does not know.
She was visited by the elderly DJ because he is confronting his own mortality again and again and again throughout the film.
Can I just
Do you
say,
remember
Maeve,
he said, what did he say again?
I'm sorry, just elderly really tickles me that we've added that to...
Do you remember in the
the
bathroom when
canon.
he's like, there's some things you can't repair or something like that?
You're not even old enough to know the definition of the word irrevocable. The other thing he says is he uses the C word, which really...
Right.
Heavy. Big.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good swear. He calls Zac Efron's character a weaselly little cunt.
Whoa. I'm not sure if we've had a C word on the podcast before.
We certainly have. We've talked about this exact scene. Because what the fuck else are we going to talk about? My guy.
Oh, beer can, you'll never turn against me.
Okay, so James Reed from The Feelers, the elderly DJ, visits this woman's penitentiary.
And you know what actually is a good time to point out that actually women in prison get a lot fewer visitors. Women in prison get a lot fewer visitors than the men in prison do, actually. So that's something to think about.
Yeah, I think...
So in a way, this movie subverts that norm. So that's an interesting layer.
Is that another one of the ways in which you found this movie quite moving?
Very. Well, at the start, I was like, this isn't really believable that he would be visiting her in prison because I knew about how fewer... But then I said, look, it's a fucking movie. Stop overthinking it,
They're obviously very skillful filmmakers.
He went to just accept it. He went to the prison to meet the mother to get the sheet music to bring it back.
It's a fine
to the
line
younger
between seeing a movie and not being able to tell whether or not they can achieve the genre, or if they're so skilled they're subverting the genre.
Right.
And I like that you've extended enough faith to Maximum Joseph to go, you know what, my shaman, my faith in your hands, and we're going to the prison.
Right.
And we're going to go visit Zacole's mum. What was her name? What is her name?
Sandra.
Sandra, of course.
Sandra. With an O.
Because it
Yeah.
sounds
Sandra.
like song.
Right.
Spelt the traditional way?
Yeah. Yeah, just Sandra Efron.
Do you know, the thing is, for me, how emotional and overwhelming the moment of the gift exchange must be for Zac Efron's character,
Right.
they really don't dwell on it much for the rest of the movie at all.
Right, but when he's crying, do you remember at the scene when he's weeping at the end?
Yeah.
You don't know what is in his mind. Do you think
This is what's created the crying DJ.
I think so.
Oh, Maeve.
Yeah.
You are wonderful.
Isn't it beautiful?
This is the second to last opportunity we have to just have a bunch of lore in there, and this is just tremendous. really captured me.
Yeah,
it is.
I like it a lot. You are.
A lot of people left while I was talking, but
I did see
I
that.
mean,
Well,
that's
they also
whatever.
came back.
Right.
You're
They
the
came back
person
at the
equivalent
end.
of that sign.
Right.
You've captured me. It's great. But there's another segment.
Well, yeah, there's one other piece of business to attend to. Now, Tim, would you like to telegraph the segment in your traditional way this evening?
No.
Toot toot! Your loss is a great way to telegraph a segment. Now, in the interest of the fact you've seen this
Hey,
movie...
Guy, can I be honest with you? I was aware there was a segment we hadn't done. I forgot what it was. And that's why I said no. I didn't mean to leave you out in the cold in front of this beautiful Brooklyn
No,
room
you did a grand-
of humans looking upon us.
You
And
did a
can I
grand
just
job.
say once again, can I take this opportunity to say, a lot more people than I was expecting in this room. It's good. Good amount of humans in here, good amount of
It
heat.
could be a hallucination.
Imagine that. No, this is not new terrain, Guy, for Timbly Wembley. Timbly Wembley's been here before. He's seen the sights.
He knows
the
what's
sounds.
good.
Absolutely.
So this final segment, Maeve, requires some role playing. Now, if you can imagine, which shouldn't be a huge stretch, that Tim and I are high-powered movie executives who sit upon thrones of millions and millions of dollars,
Yeah.
and you are a writer of some description, a storyteller, if you will. So
Yeah.
you'll have to use your ability to improvise here.
Okay.
I don't like this. Go metaphor, not simile. Guy and I are film executives.
Okay.
You have an idea for the sequel to We
Right.
Are Your Friends.
Yep. I got it.
And I would love to, just if you give me one moment, get in the right headspace to accept a visitor into my office that I share with Mr. Montgomery on the 34th floor. Hi.
Hey, thank you so much for seeing me.
Not at all. Please take
No,
a
but
seat.
I mean, for really seeing me.
Can I get you a drink? Water, Coca-Cola, whiskey, whatever you would
I
like.
might get an iced tea.
Sure thing. Done.
Thank you.
Mr. Montgomery, we'll just get that for you now.
Is that your secretary?
No, we are film executives.
Oh,
we work together and
okay.
we fund projects, but
Oh,
we're also
yes.
givers.
Okay, cool. Hey, where's your accent from? Am I allowed to chit chat?
Absolutely.
Oh, where's your accent from?
Well, I'm from New Zealand.
Oh, interesting.
Have you heard of Peter Jackson?
Is that the west
up
of
with the-
Australia?
Yeah, it is. Well, it's east and south. I
Right.
think,
It's
I
west
remember
if you
maps
keep
right.
going.
Yeah, I guess
It's
everything's
far-
west.
I
Everything's
think they
west of
call it
everything.
Far West Australia.
Oh,
It's like they call
beautiful.
the United States of America North Canada.
Canada's over America.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
right.
okay.
So listen, I hate to
Thank you for showing you're working.
I had to move you along,
Would
but we
anyone like
actually
an
have a
iced
few people to see.
Oh yeah,
this
I've
evening,
got
so-
a whole slew of meetings, too.
Fantastic. Then we're on the same page.
Yeah, there's
So-
a lot of digital content, and the History Channel Facebook page is interested in commissioning me, or at least commissioning a sizzle.
Okay, cool. Well, maybe you want to go and visit those Facebook pages. It's been great to meet you. I didn't even
No,
catch your name. but
I
please.
feel like there's more to this.
Wait, were you the two behind the film? We are your friends.
Where are your friend? Yes, that's us.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
wow.
film it was the cinematic depiction of Where's Wally in a world where he cannot be seen by the naked eye except for the very observant. Here's a friend looking over him, and in every scene, a complex array of humans dressed similarly but not identically to Waldo localization.
Nice.
So there we were, and we thought, how do you make this picture book a film? You know what our solution was?
We are not here to pitch our movie to the writer who has come in to pitch a movie to us. Although, can I say, Where Are Your Friends is a fantastic name for a live-action adaptation of Where's Waldo?
And if you guys aren't going to use that idea, Can I pitch that idea to History
Take
Channel
it. It's
Facebook
your-
page later?
Absolutely not. We've already made the film.
Okay, so go ahead, please.
Okay, so your film meant a lot to me and all my sisters growing up. And growing up in rural Ireland, it was so nice to see us represented up there on the big screen.
That's what we were going for. Exactly.
Right. It's like we always say, if you can't see it, you can't be it. And then when I saw Zac Efron and Jarhead and all the boys, then I was like, wow, I can do this too. You know, okay. So here's the pitch for the sequel, okay? Guess what? It's supernatural.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
It's,
Very naturalistic. I like it.
it's super. Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, Maeve, because I tell you, this live audience did
I know.
not.
Maybe on the second listen, right? So it
It was a good offer. It was quality. You see what he did, folks?
it was fine. It was
Supernatural, we're used to the definition being of the
I
unearthly
think
realm.
they both understood and chose not
Yeah.
to enjoy it.
I feel like I threw him a bone by repeating it. You know, like I tried to give it a second shot, and again they were just
Do you
like.
know?
Mhm.
I noticed.
So anyway, this happens actually in heaven, and guess who's up there?
Who?
Gandhi. He's
Of
got to
course.
be.
He's so good. Although you know there was this thing that he did.
I did not.
Okay, well, I mean, I just like heard this person told me this once, but Gandhi his wife had this disease, and Gandhi was like, we're not going to take that medicine, okay? That's not in our diet. We're not going to take that medicine. So the wife died of that disease. And then Gandhi got the same disease. He was like, I'm just going to take this medicine.
So
I don't
he
know if
is,
you were here for earlier in the show where Guy revealed I'd done some mushrooms, mate, but there's not the kind of fodder I was in for.
Anyway, I need to check that, but I think that might be true.
So, for our reference, is Gandhi in heaven or is he not?
He is until that story comes out and God is like, get out.
Raises a lot
So-
of questions, but let's press forward.
Okay, so Gandhi, and you know who else is in heaven? Squirrel.
Fucking A, why wouldn't he be?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
also
yeah.
because he's Jewish.
Oh, he is?
Oh, wait, they don't believe in hell. Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Wait, do you say like Jewish people can't go to heaven?
No, absolutely not. And thanks for clarifying.
They can.
Thank
okay.
you for giving me this opportunity to clarify. Absolutely not. That is not what I said whatsoever.
Anyway, so then also Shonda Efron has finally, because she delivered her gift to her son, her soul is free, and she also has ascended into heaven. And her and Squirrel fuck.
Oh.
That
Far
is
out.
dope.
Yeah!
You didn't have me, and you didn't have me, and then you have me. That's a great twist.
And there is no ambiguity about this.
Hey, say no more.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Or say heaps more. I don't know. It's
Wait,
up-
can
it's
you
your
commission
pitch.
this in the room? Like, can this go
Yeah,
straight
we've
to
got
series?
that power. And
And?
while I wanted to hear more, I almost want to save myself for the movie-going experience. I would like to give you $20 million.
Not enough.
I would like to give you 45. That's
Milli-
going to make this. right?
Million?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got $65
Sorry, I
million.
wasn't lowballing my colleague here.
$65 million, I'll take it.
Fucking dope.
We got a film, ladies and gentlemen. We got a great picture here.
We do have a great picture here.
Thank you so much.
And now
Forget
look,
the Avengers or whatever.
yeah.
Where
What's the
from?
one that just came out? The Justice League. Ooh, didn't that bomb? It's like boring, you guys. We get it. They're hot. Now, I think, we're running a touch over, but what we would like to do, just because, we understand there might be an opportunity in terms of mythos for you guys to address any burning questions you might have about the film We Are Your Friends or pertaining to the podcast, to give an opportunity to you, a humble and all-knowing audience.
Am I kind of mumbling to anyone else?
It's impossible to say. We are all only limited to our own experience. Yours, which goes in every direction as far as it can, which I love. But if there's anyone's got any questions, please.
Hey, do you know what? We've got a... Can you
No, it's too much trouble.
It is too much trouble, isn't it?
Pretty
We've got
obvious
microphones.
question.
I don't know if they're
There's a
working.
mic. Yeah, no, I'm all over it, Tim. There's a microphone there, but you don't need to worry
Guy,
about
would
that.
you be so Maeve? Would you be so kind as to parrot the question that was
Yeah,
delivered
so
from you?
the audience member said, what happens in that bathroom?
Now, Maeve, what does this question mean to you, first of all?
I'm just thinking, is it the fight scene?
No.
But a great guess,
Yeah.
because that isn't a bathroom.
No, there's a scene. You remember just before you observed, before it happened, that Squirrel was dead?
Yeah.
And Johnny Depp emerges from the bathroom and he goes, you do not want to... Has anyone seen that bathroom? It's...
Yeah.
He does a fantastic Mr. Fox whistle. He goes... And then he walks out, and occasionally we would sort of, guess at what unseemly deeds occurred in that bathroom.
Right.
Do you have any idea? You saw that party. What sort of shit was going on in there?
I mean, there was a dead body at the end of it. Squirrel.
So that you reckon it was maybe a note being like, there's a dead body in the lounge?
I don't know, like, sometimes as a prank, people write in lipstick, "Welcome to the AIDS Club," in the mirror of a bathroom.
There you are.
Is this true?
Yeah.
That's the beauty of Maeve Higgins.
It's
You give her an
American,
inch,
it's
she
an
takes
American,
it to the most incredible place possible.
It's an American prank.
Doesn't feel American. It
I've
feels...
lived here for months, and this is a typical Thanksgiving prank. They get their Maybelline lipstick and they write on the mirror, "Welcome to the AIDS Club." It is sick.
And that's why I'm glad that this movie takes place in the West Coast and not the area Maeve has experienced.
Park
her own
Slope.
bathroom.
However-
the tough zone of Park Slope.
That would warrant, Johnny Depp's reaction, which is like,
Yeah.
have you guys been in that bathroom? Because, I couldn't do the whistle, but the great thing about Clooney is he just clinches it with a... You don't even need to be able to whistle. You can just blow
I
like
have the
wind.
most intense visual of what is happening in the bathroom. Can I describe it to you? Can I describe it to you? May I?
So many
It was
enthusiastic...
fantastically timed. A universal, yep, from the crowd. Yeah, all right. From the front row, very good. I can see it with my mind's eye. We're in the bathroom, and as every bathroom has, a bone-white porcelain basin. Clean as we say in New Zealand. Clean as a whistle, as you would say in America. We leave the last bit to the imagination, for we are a poetic people. Ruminating around this bone china coloured but still very porcelain basin is not one but two tiny unicorns chasing each other, making concentric circles. And you would only notice this if you were paying very close attention, which I was. They are getting closer and closer to the plug every time that they make a rotation around. They're happy, they're joyful, they're playing. But unfortunately, like us all, inexorably, they will be sucked into the vacuum of time and meet their untimely demise at the bottom.
Jesus fuck.
I thought mine was dark, but that is like next level.
That's an American tradition.
It's a metaphor.
Yeah.
You don't have unicorns in New Zealand, right?
No, not that I've seen.
Right.
That's impossible to say. So I hope that's sufficiently answered your question, sir. Does anyone else have any questions?
Oh,
Where's
brilliant
the knife?
question.
Where is the knife? The knife is a co-host that Tim would insist upon bringing on the podcast every now and then just to restore order in the room. He, at one point, just told me...
I'm sorry, who asked the question? What's your name, sir? Chris? I've got some bad news, Chris. Chris, the knife's gone and it was the TSA. It happened again. And There was actually someone, and I wish I kind of screen capped this and had it ready on hand, but someone on Twitter foretold this exactly, but just randomly guessed it. They were like, someone sort of said, "Where's the knife?" And then someone else said, "Oh, I bet Tim tried to get it through customs again." And they're 100% correct. I put it on my pack-in bag because I forgot to put it in my luggage check-in one. And then what they do is they check your backpack every now and then when you go through
For
security.
like specifically stuff like knives.
So this member of the TSA, the security person said, "Do you have any sharp objects in your bag?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I do." And I said, "Yeah, there's a knife in there." And they said, "Where is it?" And I pointed to the pocket, and they said, "You get it out." And I said, "Okay."
So if the TSA person is a legend, then they have the knife. And if they're a fucking nerd, it's in a dumpster somewhere.
But do you know what?
What?
I think it was meant to be. Because, like, if you'll remember, the first knife went down like this, and now we're at the end of everything, and it just... I can only hold on emotionally to the fact that maybe this was supposed to happen in the same fashion again, as sort of bookends to the podcast, you know? We started with a knife,
We didn't, that's the thing.
and then we ended without a knife also.
It was just us. You introduced the knife.
Do you know where I bought the original knife? There was a corner store shutting down in Queen Street in Auckland. I live in New Zealand.
You can just pick up a knife in corner stores in New Zealand.
Absolutely. When they're going out of business, yeah. Nice and cheap, beautiful little flick knife. I thought I'll have that.
Corner stores really reveal themselves when they're going out of business back home. Like, this is what we wanted to sell, you see? Finally,
Like
we got given our chance.
Tortoise shells and like.
Yeah. Look, we
kids.
got.
Okay.
We have to keep rollicking along.
But luckily, we've got time for one more question.
yeah, there was someone did want a question. Yes, go ahead, sir.
If Jarhead never fixed the toilet, how does his dad poop?
I mean, I feel like he would poop the same way as everyone else. I think that would be limited.
Deftly handled.
Yeah, I think it's up to you to imagine where and how he does that.
He does
I
have a
realised
full
where you-
empty pool in his backyard.
That was the toilet to which he was originally referring.
I wasn't concentrating on the movie.
No. I was building on the mythos. You were on the money.
Did that answer your question satisfactorily? Did I add another syllable to
Yes.
satisfactorily?
You combined sartorially and satisfactorily.
Satisfactorily. I think we should all say it like that from now on. It's more fun.
I bet that'll take off. I'll fucking wager anything, my guy.
It's such a good question because if the...
He's answering a different question.
I mean... Well, okay, can I ask you a question to answer the question? Are you posing the question in a universe wherein the roof is the toilet, which we suggested in an episode or two?
Well, I think the pool slide would be the toilet more.
The pool slide is the toilet.
It's a lot more fun.
Okay, that's more fun.
I understand. So there's a
I'm
children's...
repeating not just to be a fuckwit, but so it is
No,
captured.
you are a savvy dude, but I feel like you undid all of your good work by articulating exactly why you
Just
were
letting
repeating.
everyone know.
I understand what you're suggesting, sir. You don't think that Jahed's father shits into a children's slide and it lands in an empty pool on his property. No, it's good. It's a good world you live in. Look, the truth of the matter is we don't have time for any more questions because we are going to take a quick break and then we're all going to bust out a hot little bit of stand-up comedy for those of you who are excited. Hey, you guys, you've been such a wonderful audience. Please give yourselves a... Paddy Schwartz, do you know I DM'd Paddy Schwartz? I'll fucking read it to you.
So easily distracted.
You know, look, you can Google the tattoo.
Oh, hey, do you know what? Actually, I've come... I mean, you live here now in New York City. Maeve, I'm really sorry. I feel, this is just a little inside
go for it, yeah.
business, if we may.
great.
Because, like, I've come a tremendous way to be here, and everyone's, shifted their plans to be here.
Everyone has.
Yeah.
So no one accounted for this. Everyone is.
So, what I'd love to do is a little bit of papa. A little bit of pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa. Pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa.
You can do the papa bits. It's easy. Just go papa.
It's B sound.
Paddy Schwartz! Party time! Racing around the east and west coast, yeah! Paddy Schwartz! Party time!
He's got his phone out in the front right now. Paddy Schwartz!
Party time! God, it's been a while, huh? We didn't know that. Do you know, it's so unexciting. Somehow, amongst all of the mess of us abusing Patrick Schwarzenegger online for 3 years, we now follow each other on Twitter, which gives me the right to DM him every now and then. My first correspondence. This is, it's not relevant. I'll read it to you and then I'll go to what I actually just said. Happy New Year, Patrick.
Could I take a punt at when you sent that?
Yeah, go for it.
Jan 2nd.
No, it's May.
Perfect.
And thanks for the follow, you stone cold legend. How the bloody heck are you? I hope America is going well.
Spoiler, it is.
The reason I message you, this is after we'd finished season 1, by the way. The reason I requested the chance to DM you is my friend Tim and I, who also has your tattoo, would love to get you on our podcast for a segment called Paddy Schwartz Party Time. Are you happy to discuss this via Twitter, or would you rather we talked via email? Cheers, Guy. And then he just messaged back, what's up, bud? What would I have to do? And then that conversation went nowhere. But since then, every time we're in Los Angeles, I shoot him a message saying, hey, me and Tim would love to have a beer. And every time when we're on the way to the airport, he messages back being like, oh, I never check Twitter, even though he tweets all the fucking time. So anyway, this is...
Could you message him now before you forget?
I messaged him literally like 8 hours ago today.
Brilliant. All right, let's see how that goes.
Oh, but it's not funny because I was trying to grease his wheels. I said, hey, Patrick, congrats on the long road home, man, which I looked up as a show he's just acted in for National Geographic.
At least you didn't open it with "Whoa, mama."
Haven't got to see it yet. How fucking hollow is this? I feel like I'm burying my soul. Haven't got to see it yet, but the reviews and trailers look amazing. It's a long shot, I know, but if you're in LA this Friday and want to receive the hottest of heroes welcomes imaginable, my friend Tim and I are doing the last episode of our stupid podcast in West Hollywood, and if you showed up for even 1 minute, you would send our entire audience into absolute pandemonium. Let me know. I hope you're well. And... Oh, I'm sorry. Does Patrick Schwarzenegger follow you on Twitter?
He genuinely doesn't. It has crippled me that he only follows you. I'm sorry, read on.
Every time I DM him, I risk losing this privilege. Anyway, it has been neither seen nor responded to.
Well, everyone, what an absolute climax to leave an episode on. Guy, master storyteller as always. Can we please get a round of applause for the lovely Maeve Higgins?
Thank you.
ladies and gentlemen?
Thanks for having me.
God, you're cool.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank you, mate.
So listen, we're going to take a little 5 or 10 minute break, do whatever you got to do, and then we're going to come back and perform comedy to you, which the way I'm feeling, going to be a real roll of the die. All right, thanks everybody for tuning up.
Thanks, you guys.
ridiculous. But if you like comedy, keep playing the song.
Because we are your friends, you'll never be alone again. We'll come on, we'll come on, we'll come on. Because we are your friends, you'll never be alone again. We'll come on, we'll come on, we'll come on. Because we are your friends, you'll never be alone again. We'll come on, we'll come on, we'll come on, we'll come on. Because we are your friends, you'll never be alone again. We'll come on, we'll come on, we'll come on. We'll come on, because we are your friends. You'll never be alone again. We'll come on, we'll come on, we'll come on, because we are your friends. You'll never be alone again. We'll come on.
The silence with doors open wide, where people can pay to see inside. For entertainment, they watch his body twist. Behind his eyes, he says, I still exist. This is the way, step inside. This is the way, step inside. This is the way, step inside. This is the way, step inside.
had fun so far. No, I have. Yeah. Hey, you guys, we good? Who could do stand-up at a time like this, eh? So much happening. There's stools on stage, psilocybin coursing through our veins. You know, it's crazy. I tell you this, though, now that I'm nice and close. Good smelling audience. Real good. Get up here.
Just stand up.
Mm-hmm. That's employment, is what that is. That is it. It is that combination of Dove for men, confidence you can pay rent, and the mustache smell suggests to me maybe just a tiny bit of self-loathing. You didn't pursue music as a career. Am I wrong? The best friend's giving a very congratulatory pat on the back, like I've struck a nerve. Boy, howdy. I did ask you beforehand, though, right? It's important in this day and age. Changing climate. It's good. No sense without consent, I've always said. I always said that. I reckon it's good, eh? It's good where we're at now. Guys are very confused. They're frightened, terrified. My kin, my fellow males, they don't know what to do with themselves because after like 3,000 years of structuring a very unfair society, suddenly we get called out for monstrous behaviour. Oh, geez, ladies. Give us a bit of warning next time, would you? You know, a little heads up wouldn't have gone astray. It's great. It's fucking good, I think. It's cool. The word witch hunt is being used quite a lot at the moment by dudes. How fucking crazy is that? Of all the terms you can pick. Roy Moore tweeted out that he felt it was a witch hunt. How privileged is your gender? Where when you are being called to account, the first historical event that comes to your mind as a touchstone is when, famously, conservative men became incredibly hysterical and murdered innocent women. That is fucking batshit. Oh, my word. Can't use witch hunt. That's not for us, my dudes. That is not for us, you know. If I miss out on the front seat of the car for a long car journey, I am not Rosa Parks. That is... If I have a dream about little black children and little white children holding hands and playing together, I am not MLK. I just fell asleep to Rugrats again. That's all that's happened there. Fuck, I miss Rugrats. God damn, that show was a powerhouse. My favourite character, without question, Charlotte Pickles. Angelica's mum. Our generation's Gloria Steinem. Swear to Gaia, she was so good. She was the CEO of her company, and that was in 1991. Amazing. You bet your ass she would have beat Trump in the Electoral College. And then she would have sat down Bernie Sanders and given him a lecture about how free markets are incredibly important to an open democracy. She would have whipped everybody. Would have been great. Anyway, great to be here in New York. You guys got a great city here. It's true. It's fucking cool. I couldn't live here though. It's mainly. You guys use horns really interestingly on the road. I'll tell you that. In New Zealand, it's like you're doing something wrong, and here in New York, it's like you exist and you're in my way. It's so weird. I went to Japan earlier this year for the first time ever. Yeah. Anyone been to Japan? It's great. It's fucking cool. It's like bizarro New York City. Because there's the same amount of people, they're all together, but everyone's very polite. Yeah? Very orderly. It was cool. That country is confusing, though. I flew in. This is how confused I was. On the plane when it touched down, they said, "Welcome to Nihon." And I was like, fuck, I got on the wrong flight. Turns out the Japanese have a different word for Japan. I did not know that. I probably should have known this before I went, but it turns out in Japan, they will speak Japanese. Seems obvious now in retrospect, but I looked it up. I was like, Why, if there was already a word for Japan, do we call it Japan if its actual name is Nihon? The people there call it Nihon or Nippon, depending on which part of the country you're from. And so I looked it up on Wikipedia, and it turns out the reason we call it Japan is because we're assholes. And it's truly that simple. It was like they've been there for ages, had developed a language. Dutch sailors went there in the 18th century, and they were like, love what you've done with the place. What do you call this? And they said Nihon, and the Dutch said, Japan, huh? Love it. Not how names work. If I go to a party and say, hey, I'm Tim, I don't expect the host to be like, Steve, is it? No. I think Steve's a better name for you. To be like, hey, Phil, come and meet Steve. And then Phil comes along. He's got this, he used to have a crazy little mustache, but he had to shave it off because some shit went down. He's from Deutschland. Anyway, I'll tell you guys later. There's some world history involved with that one. It's crazy. I was in Japan. I had a good time in Japan. I went to Osaka. That is the coolest part of Japan, I think. Tokyo gets a lot of play, but Osaka was the best. I went to a theme park there, and I was on a roller coaster. And this was when the lack of Japanese language skills came in. Because, Japanese isn't even one of those languages that you can fake. You know, like French or German. If your first language is English, you know how you can just kind of feel around in the dark and get it? If I was in France, do you know what their word for vodka is? Just vodka, right? So I could survive in Paris. I'd be okay. And if I went to Germany, if I was in Berlin, their word for vodka, wodka. I could have guessed that. I would have been fine. But you go to Japan, and their word for vodka is uoka, and I would not have guessed that. Especially because my first exposure to it was written down on a menu, and the way that they spell it is thing that looks like the front of a boat, smiley face going that way, some musical notes, and then a tent in the wind. In Japanese, you spell vodka with a series of emojis that describe a music festival at a beach. I wouldn't have put that together. So I was on the roller coaster in Osaka, and they're throwing some pretty loud and urgent-sounding verbal commands at me, which I'm not understanding. And I get a little concerned because this is coinciding with the arm bar coming down. And I'm like, oh boy, you done it now, Timbo. Do we grab the bar? Do we not touch the bar? I don't know. I've never asked myself this question on a roller coaster. Am I too tall to be on the ride? I'm seeing a lot of very confident faces at 5'6". I'm 5'11". I don't know if this Japanese word means enjoy or danger. It was tricky. It's very hard. But the one thing that they are definitely doing right there, for sure, is they've got booze in the vending machines. Tremendous. What an offer. Do you know who couldn't handle that? New Zealanders. Absolutely not. We're barely allowed fireworks at this point. They've taken everything from us, and yet you can just rock around and get a beer. I was honestly drunk 80% of the trip in Japan just because I could. I got up one morning and I was just doing like a little lap around the hotel I was staying at, and there was a huge billboard. This is when I was staying in central Osaka. This is a very expensive bit of real estate. Not the hotel I got. I don't have a lot of money. But I got a last minute deal, and I saw this huge billboard when I was very hungover, walking around 11 o'clock in the morning. The billboard is first off, it's a woman who is naked. A young Japanese woman, looks to be sort of 25. Hard to tell from the angle, I'll be honest. But she's kind of doing this. And then in front of her butt, anus, butthole, bum, I don't know, I'm sorry, I haven't felt out the crowd very well. Covering her blessing is a young, very attractive Japanese man who looks to be a similar age, just beaming, absolutely beaming. The woman unmistakably naked, the man unmistakably happy. And there's no other conclusion you can draw other than this man has been eating out this arsehole. He's fucking stoked about it. Now, this billboard is fucking huge. Massive. And all that's on there, apart from what I've just described, are 3 words, which are in English, and it says, "I'm doing me." And that's it. That's the whole sign. I was there. You guys now have as much information about it as I do. I was standing there for so long, just looking at this thing, being like, what am I supposed to buy based on this? Someone has paid a tremendous amount of money for this billboard to exist. I don't know what it's advertising. I'm there hungover for like 10 minutes, and I come to the conclusion that it's probably a tourism sign. You know, because when you touch down in New Zealand, where I live in Auckland, at the international airport, you get down, you get through security, you go through a long hallway, and there's beautiful green rolling hills along the wall, and it says 100% pure NZ. It's our like marketing thing. And when you get to Japan, apparently they're like, fucking welcome to Nihon. You do you, bro. Grab a beer, eat an arsehole. It's all on. Get involved. Great country. Great fucking country. That's about my time. But before I bring on your next act, I want to share a story which only happened very recently. And I don't even know if this is funny, but it's funny to me. But because I was in New York City, right, I thought I would take in some theatre, some culture. We went to Broadway. And I was on mushrooms at the time, spoiler alert. And I was with a friend of mine who I'm not sure if he wants to be named, so it was a dude, we'll just call him Guy. Me and my friend Guy went to SpongeBob SquarePants, the musical. And we sat in the front row for a preview show. And my friend, who we'll call Guy, went to the bathroom for just like a New York minute. Which, funnily enough, is like 10 New Zealand minutes. So, but he just went and took a leak. And in that time, 2 crazy things happened in close succession. And the first one was that this dude rocked up with 2 young daughters, and he sat them on stairs that were part of the set of this beautiful theatre piece to get a picture of them. And a security guard came over, quite rightly, and was like, my dude, no, like... Get your girls off. The show's about to begin. This is madness. And he said, it's fine. I remind you, I'm on mushrooms. This guy is talking back to authority, and I am like, who comes to SpongeBob SquarePants the musical with their daughters and talks back to a fucking security guard while their daughters are climbing over the set? You know who does that? A New Yorker. It was brilliant. And I sunk back into my chair. I was trying to melt into the cushions just to get away from the conflict. And as I did, there was this episode happening behind me where a woman was explaining to her theatre companion for the evening what SpongeBob SquarePants was. From the start, she was like, everyone's underwater. The main guy is a sponge. He's got a best friend named Patrick who's a starfish. And I was like, who was at this show for a fucking preview and has never heard of SpongeBob before? Are you kidding? How big a fan of Broadway are you? This is the same dude who went to Hamilton and was like, oh, was that based on a true story? There was a dude, huh? You know who does that? A fucking New Yorker. That's who does that. We sat in the front row. Guy, my friend, who I'll call Guy, and we both had the same reaction because it's another one of those things. It seems silly to say now, but when the curtain raised and the characters came out and they were humans, we were like, huh. You know who does that? 2 dudes on mushrooms. That's it. All right, you guys ready to see some more comedy? You're so lovely, you're so warm. I'm actually not sure who wants to come on next. Could someone poke their head through the curtain to indicate who would like to come on next? Or just leave me hanging out here? It's going to be our special guest, direct from Ireland. Ladies and gentlemen, please go crazy and wild for Maeve Higgins.
Oh my, no! No, you guys! You guys! Thank you. So I'm just doing Instagram. I'm just roasting some models. So I actually was so glad to come out tonight because I spent a lot of time in my room just straddling that line between tweezing and self-harm. So it's good to be out. God. Okay, I've got some, I want to tell you about myself, okay? I guess, like, I'm kind of a bad, oh no, I want to say this in kind of erotic way. I'm kind of a bad girl. You know, like physical, like, I'm kind of a bad girl. Because when I say in conversation, like, I'll send you the link, I know that I won't send you the link, and, like, I have no intention of sending you a link, but I just want to, like, stop talking about the thing. So I say, like, oh my, yeah, no, you would love it. I won't bore you, but I'll send you a link. But that's the end of it. And I really like, I also want to be thought of as really good. Like, it's, you know, women are so complex. And I don't want to be like one of those hidden good people, you know? Like, you know, Lady Diana, rest in peace. She was like, she was always like, I'm going through the minefields. Shh, you know? Don't tell. She would like tiptoe through the minefields, and then only later, like somebody would be like, Lady Diana went through the minefields, you know? And she would like hug very sick people and not make a big deal out of it. Whereas like, if I'm just tipping a barista, it's very important for me that they see me tipping them. And like, not just see me, but like make eye contact with me the whole time. So like, they give me my drink, usually coffee, honestly. And then they like, you know, sometimes like you pay, then they turn around to make it, and then like, I wait until they turn back around so they can drop my 2 quarters into the jar.
Lazy man who
And often they feel like they should say thank you, I guess. Because they're like, thanks. And I always say, I wish it could be more. And then they're like, it's okay, you know. It's just like a nice human interaction. Or if they say like, thanks, and I think that they might be Spanish speaking, I say, de nada. This is like, isn't that a nice touch? So I don't have any children that I know of. So, and sometimes I'm like, you know, I live in New York City. I don't know if this is like the best place to bring up a child. It seems like a stressful environment. I saw a 4-year-old missing the subway, missing his train the other day. And like his face like aged 40 years ahead of him. Like he was only high enough to come to the window of the door. And it was the G. Like it's a pain when you miss the G, but he was just like, "Ugh!" Like an enraged toddler. I was just like, where were you? What are you late for? Like, oh, the sandpit's gonna find me. Like, what are you worried about? But he was furious, you know, threw his sippy cup down on the platform. Like black coffee spills everywhere. Like flung his briefcase after the train. Like all blocks came tumbling out. It goes on and on, you know, it's that joke. So, and I personally find the subway stressful. And, you know, once I was like kind of still new in town and I got on the train and there was a empty space, and like now I know that's for a reason, you know. It's not like people are being like, hey, you know what, let's just leave it open in case there's a you know, there's a bad reason. And so I like tried to make my way to the seat, and then this guy wearing like double denim was like, don't sit there, there's piss on the seat, you know, there's piss on the seat. And I looked, and there was like a pool of urine, a very perfect pool. I was like, how did that come to be? Like, you know, but it was there, and he was warning people, and I took my headphones out, and I was like, hey, like, thank you for telling me, like, thank you. And he was like, some guy told me, now I feel obligated, okay? I was like, okay, sorry. Like, someone's desperately looking for a connection. And then he kept telling people as they would go to sit down, he'd be like, just piss on the seat. And like very resentfully. And then he was getting off the train and he like turned to me. He was like, it's your turn. I guess because I had like said thank you. And so I was like, oh, okay. And like taking my place. And the train was getting more and more crowded. It's like 4:45. And then every time someone came over, I'd be like, no, be careful, blah, blah. Sorry, now it's not me. It wasn't me, but it was those yours. It was like fucking bugging and wittering away, so annoying to myself. And people were like, what? I just want to sit down. And I was like, no. So in the end, I have a notebook. Do you know what notebooks? They're like paper. Anyway, I wrote in my notebook, like, be careful. And then I ripped out the page and I was like floated it in the pool. And I was really happy, like it made it more visible. And I was like very pleased with myself. And then this one lady was like, oh, you're not gonna write that in Spanish? I was like, the only thing I can say in Spanish is de nada. It's a callback. But often they're not worth it. So I'm afraid of clowns, actually, which I know is like a cute thing. I'm afraid of clowns. Ooh. But I am really terrified of clowns, actually. And not because like I saw it, and not because like they're secretly killers or pedophiles or all that stuff is true, but like not that. That's not what terrifies me. I'm afraid of clowns because I know a lot of clowns, and they went to university, like that you pay for, and then some of them, and they went to university to like study physical movement or whatever, and then some of them went to France and like studied there, and then they like moved to New York to make it as a clown, and now they sell weed, they walk dog. I'm afraid of failure. But that might be a bit hurtful. Okay, so dating advice. I have some dating advice. This is just like an old joke, and now I actually don't usually tell it anymore because I get so annoyed by the focus on dating in this town. Like it's just one part of life. Like and not just in this town, like in this culture. Like even in Stranger Things, you see Stranger Things? Yeah. Are they 12 or 13 or something? Yeah. And the two of the main storylines are like, are we gonna fuck? And it's like, don't worry, your children. Like, anyway, so I think it is too much emphasis on like dating and sex, but it's by choice. I've actually invented a sex game. It's not like that I'm anti-sex. I'm pro-sex. I can just have it whenever I want, basically. Just text whoever. And I invented a sex game. You guys seem like an open sex pause crowd. Here's the sex game I invented. Put a bag over your head. Okay, it's like kind of whatever, kinky, but you put a bag over your head, paper, plastic, doesn't matter. And then you just see how long you can go without having sex. Yeah, so I'm winning. Oh, you don't even need a bag. If you don't want to, you don't even need a bag. So yeah, anyway, but I do have some dating advice. All that said, okay, I'm really good at it. So here's my dating advice. This is actually this is how you get a guy. So I'm sorry if you're not a woman or if you're not a gay guy. So I'm sorry. Basically, I'm apologizing to the straight men here. But you get everything else. I think it's fine. So this is what you do, right? This is how you just like break the ice with a straight guy. This is what I know for sure about straight men. They're obsessed with coincidences. They're always like looking for signs from the universe about what should they do. You know, straight guys, they're always like, wait a second, I heard this song on the radio yesterday. What? You know, they're like, what? They're like, oh my God, that's 2 days before my dad's birthday. You know, they're just, it's cute, but like, this is a sort of innocence to them. And so I'm saying, don't dismiss the play on it, you know? So like, find something that you have in common with the straight guy and like bring it up to him and it would blow his mind. So like, for example, like a lot of us have these eyebrows, see? So like, if you see a guy that you like, you want to start a conversation, just be like, sorry, you know these lines of hair over your eyes? I have them too. And this is like kind of layers of cleverness because first of all, he'd be like, oh my God, you know, like, what? And also, you'll get him looking in your eyes. See how erotic that is? Hi. So yeah. You can also like kind of force a coincidence. Like I don't want to be all like the game, but you can force a coincidence. Like a lot of men around this area of Brooklyn have tattoos. You know, there's a lot of ex-sailors living here, and with such soft hands. So tap a tap a tap, tap tap tap. So they like what you can do is if you see a guy that you like, just surreptitiously take a photo of his tattoos, and with your smartphone, and then go to a tattoo parlor. They're everywhere, and get the same tattoo quickly. Go back to where you saw him. Okay. Maybe that's a coffee shop. Make sure it's somewhere that doesn't move like in a bus, okay? Take it from me. Go back to whatever coffee shop that you saw him writing his screenplay in, and then like, this sounds counterintuitive, but like basically like act like you don't care if he sees you. So just be like, can I just get the almond milk? And like reach across for him. Scrape off the dried blood. Often when you get a tattoo, there's going to be it would be quite inflamed and bloody, and there'll be saran wrap around it. So try as best you can to clean it a little so that he can make out the shape. And then just reach across. Can I get the almond milk? Oh, my tum-tum. It doesn't suit me. I'm not like allergic to gluten, but I'm intolerant. You know, like the patter that they love. And then he'll see the corresponding tattoo to his own on your arm, and he'd be like, oh my God, like that's my mom. That's my mom's face. And yeah. And then you'd be like kind of act impatient with them. Just be like, what? Be like, excuse me? Just be like, excuse me? This is just a tired old woman with some numbers underneath her face. You know, he'd be like, no, it's a date that she died or whatever, you know, like, and you just be like, you're crazy. Nag him, bitches. Okay. I think that's really it. So I just wanted to say thank you for letting me be part of this crazy show. The boys are so adorable. What a lovely podcast. What a great audience you are. Yeah. So please give it up for the one and only Guy Montgomery. Here he comes now.
Thank you all. I'm sure you're all really excited to hear more from all three of us. I feel like just over 2 hours is about the right run time. Whenever I'm in an audience, I always think cumulatively between three people, just north of 2 hours is about fucking perfect. It's crazy because you're ostensibly fans of the podcast, yet I imagine some of you are both visibly and mentally disinterested. But I'm about to blow your fucking minds. I'm really not. It's pretty pedestrian stuff. I got nothing to say. No, the annoying thing is, I had it all written down. Can't get that when I'm backstage. So it's going to be occurring to me like, yeah, you get out of here, you fucking scamp. Fair weather fan. We got this place till midnight, baby. No, I'm just goofing. And all these nights I have, they're just for the podcast we recorded. And a lot of them I didn't bring up. And there's some good stuff, but that's the thing. So I'm a bit of a goof. Silly guy. For instance, if my name was Mike, I would change my surname to Chemical Romance. So I'd get more work. At weddings and stuff. And all the wedding patrons would be like, play teens. And I'd be like, no, I'll do a joke. So even my best plans have downfalls. It's good to be here in America. Straight up, I moved here. Cool. I don't know if you guys are familiar with newspapers, thank you, but I've been following them quite closely for the last 5 years, and I thought that finally now the cultural climate is just right for the big shift. I've been following along, and this is the way I see it. The way I see it is in our lifetime, in all likelihood, we will only get to experience one nuclear holocaust. And when it happens, I don't want to be stuck down in the cheap seats in New Zealand, I want to be fucking front and center, courtside with Drake being like, God damn it, Drake. It's a shame we only just met and get along so well because this nuclear holocaust will surely kill us all. No, the reason I actually moved here was to pursue comedy, which I can tell you feels like I made a bad decision. This is my third stand-up show since I got here 6 weeks ago. No, don't clap. That's bad. That's a bad result. I did the first show I did, which is what I will detail for you now, was not good. And I don't know if it was like a self-torture sort of thing, but I was like, God damn, if I'm going to crack the New York comedy scene, I better do some open mics. And so I willfully applied to perform on an open mic at 3 p.m. in Manhattan on a fucking Tuesday afternoon. That cost me $5 to perform on. And I shut up and I gave the man whose job it was, I gave him $5. I said, hi, I'm Guy. They said, great, sit down, And then I sat down and I watched for 115 minutes while a parade of other fucking idiots who had paid a stranger $5 got on stage and sucked shit. Literally. Like, at the hour 30 mark, the undeniable highlight of the gig occurred when a man came on stage. Everyone got 5 minutes. $5, 5 minutes. He was 3 minutes into his set, which was to, 17 other open mic comedians still waiting their turn, deathly silent. And after 3 minutes, you could hear him just audibly enough off mic go, this is why I've got to start writing it all down. To nothing in the room. And then, against his own, audible better judgment, plows on. You got to get your money's worth with the remaining 2 minutes. By the way, I hasten to add, I was messaging a friend at this time being like, oh, I'm in a bad spot. She was like, what happened? And I said, I paid $5 to this open mic and I can't leave because I got to get my money's worth. And she was like, it sounds like you're in a scam. It's only then I was like, yeah, I'm in the middle of a scam. So this guy plows ahead, 3 minutes of deathly silence, another 2 minutes of unprepared deathly silence, and as he leaves the stage, he whispers, just loud enough for everyone in the room to hear, he goes, this is the last thing he says, oh, fuck. Why do I even fucking do this to myself? And walks off stage and levels the whole room. Everyone is in awe. And so then I wait another 45 minutes to go on stage, and all I can say is, this is bullshit. I got a friend who's pretty smart who reckons that you're scamming us. For about a minute of that, I'm like, well, I might as well do some of these fucking jokes I wrote down. So I do this one great joke I've got to deathly silence. It's not ever my goal. And then anyway, I get out my 5 minutes or whatever, and at the end of the show, I say, this is not why I moved here. This is not right. And I put the mic back in the center, I walk off stage, and the host, after my 5 minute fucking rant, comes on stage, and he just goes in the microphone, yeah, welcome to New York, bitch. And so to have you guys who actually, maybe I'd say 80% of you know who I am and 20% of you don't like who you're with right now. To have you all here is truly one of the life's greatest gifts. Look, I don't want to keep you longer than you need. There were a few things I wanted to say, and then there's one story, which is great. You guys are going to love the story. No. Look at all this shit. No, so the thing is, I don't know if you can tell, I'm pretty much exactly who Maeve was talking about just earlier. When she was saying, because it's a crazy coincidence, because Maeve and I are actually on the same show, and I was trying to tell her backstage, but she wouldn't listen. No, but I don't know if you can tell this to look at me, but I'm someone who adds no practical value in any given situation. I have literally made it this far in life by being good for morale. But I didn't always have comedy. So before then, I was promoting cheese in supermarkets. For 5 years, I was promoting, which is too long, I think, for that particular line of industry. It was my gig. I was good. It was real good. Gouda was my best cheese. This was my line. I'd say, now this is Gouda. It's a hard cheese, but a fair cheese. And people go crazy. I love that shit. But I'm lucky I found comedy. And look, my phone's vibrated, which means I've already been over here for 9 minutes. And I want to tell one story before I go. And are there any Australians in? All right, good on you guys. Thank you for coming out. Boo, yeah, good way to boo. I can tell you from New Zealand because your boo had 7 syllables. But no, so I recently, before I moved to America to be a destitute, fucking miserable failure, things were going okay. And I as recently as this year, I got to tour. I toured Australia for comedy, and I got to go to West Australia, which is, you don't need to go there. Right on. Yeah, it's still there. Look, we really don't have time to unpack. It's a wild place though. It's so hot. And most of it's not at the beach, so it's bad. But I went to Western Australia and we do shows every night. Some of them are good, some of them bad. And we do shows every night. And then occasionally we get a night off. And we got a night off. And before I tell you this anecdote, I would like to say very quickly that in Australia, there's a rumour they like to perpetuate pertaining to us New Zealanders, specifically towards something that we like to do with... New Zealanders best known for having more of a certain farmyard animal than people. And accordingly, Australians have run wild with this information. And it's something they like to suggest. Like, I don't want to, go into the grisly details of exactly what they imagine, but rest assured, it's none too pleasant. So I was in Western Australia, and we were in a beautiful part of Western Australia called Margaret River, which is wine country. And it's not a different, you don't need a passport or anything. It's just it's a marketing gimmick. And we had a show on one night, and the next night we had the night off. And our tour manager said to us, "Hey, here we are in West Australia. In Margaret River? What do you think tomorrow night? What do you think tomorrow? We go on a vineyard tour." And the comedians on tour, said, "That sounds fantastic. Of course, we would love to go on a vineyard tour." So he called up and booked a tour with with a company called Sue's Vineyard Tours. And the next morning at 10 a.m. outside of our hotel, who should arrive? There was a van outside and a lady honking the horn, and who do you think was driving the van? Of course, yeah, from the tours. And she said, she was honking the horn, and we all got in the car, and then within 5 minutes, Sue had cottoned on to the fact that I was not in fact Australian, but I was from New Zealand. And the way she had deduced this is because I had spoken a sentence. And she said, New Zealand, hey. Well, don't worry. We'll be driving past plenty of sheep on this tour. And I didn't say anything. What can you say? And we kept driving. We went to our first cellar door, that's what they call it. That's how you get in to the vineyard. Try the wine. Don't go through the front door. They'll fucking laugh you out of the place. No, it's just around the side. And we went to our first cellar door, and then every time we drive between vineyards, every time we drive past, every time we drive past any, paddock with any sort of, in it, she'd just go. I don't say anything. I suffered in silence for 3 hours. We went to 5 cellar doors, and I wouldn't say anything. And then it was in between our 5th and 6th cellar door, the final one. We drove past a paddock, and of all the paddocks we'd driven past, this paddock was the most full of sheep. As we drove past it, Sue, knowingly, she tapped the window, and she looked at me in the rearview mirror, and she said, "You'll like that?" I looked at her in the mirror and I said, "Well, ordinarily, Sue, you are correct. Yes, I would like that very much. But on account of how quickly this van is going, I cannot do the one thing I really want to do right now, which is jump out of this van and run to that paddock over there and have full-blown penetrative sex with one of those animals. I want to come inside one of those animals." And Sue was flabbergasted. She could not believe that I was so brazen as to articulate the logical endpoint of what she'd been insinuating the whole fucking drive. And she looked me in the mirror and she said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "What do you mean? What do I mean? What do you do with them?" And she said, "Well, over here we farm them for wool and meat." We're talking about sheep, right? And I said, "What, you can eat those things?" Back home, we just call them fuck pigs. That's it. That's the joke. Please welcome back on stage Tim Batt and Maeve Higgins, everybody. Hey, there they are. That's it. Thank you so much. Could we please... Maeve doesn't even know us or the podcast, and she did anyway. Please, one more time for Maeve Higgins. What a legend. You're a star. Look, we've got some posters, and we're going to be selling them out the front, and we'll sign them, we'll talk to you, we'll take a photo, and after that we're going to drink a beer at the bar. It's going to be fucking cool, actually. If nothing else, it's going to be...
The doors are locked.
And the doors are locked. At Maeve's request. What a coincidence. We're all here together. Hey, look, please, do you have anything else to say, Tim? You feeling good?
Just thanks.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you so much. You've been amazing. We're so grateful. If anyone wants those letters in that bit of card, just take them. They're yours.